thought, you know what, if we're going to do a live stream, first and foremost, we should pick a topic where we can't possibly go wrong. So we chose God, this particular case. And having said that, it's a pleasure of mine. This is the second go-around that I have the pleasure of sitting and interviewing Vasula Ruden. Vasula Ruden, spelt R-Y-D-E-N. And as you've seen some of our posts around the world and some of our conversation, Vasula is certainly a visionary. She is a messenger. Many people call her a prophet, although she doesn't herself. Her book is fascinating. I just finished reading it. Heaven is real, but so is hell. So it's a striking message, and one that certainly stops you in your tracks to question, what exactly are we saying here? So lots to discuss in the next hour or so. So buckle your seatbelt, enjoy, and we'll get right to it here. Vasula, thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm, for inviting me here.
Well, I said to you when we talked a few weeks ago, I said to you, when you do the live book tour, because the book just came out, right?
Yes. Thank you for inviting me.
Wonderful to have you, and I know you have a book signing and many other things you'll be doing, so it's wonderful to have you here for the next few hours with us. So let's start off with this journey of yours, and I want to really impact folks in the next hour. I want this to be a very dynamic conversation. I believe whatever one's view is, there's something to learn from you, having just finished your book and your message. One of the things I just realized, Vasula, is that this didn't happen to you last week, last month, last year. I didn't know that, and until I really read the book and understood. This has been a lifelong mission of yours, and really it comes all the way back, as I read in the book, to like 6 years old, and you had these terrifying experiences in some of the premonitions. Would you start there for me?
Yes, it was, I was asleep, and then I woke up suddenly because I felt something happening, and I looked straight above, and I saw two hands all the way to the wrists, but looking very ugly and old and menacing, and coming to my throat like as if they would just choke me. And I was so scared because this was true. I mean, if I was just going to touch, they would be there. It wasn't just like I was closing my eyes. They were real, and they were coming to my throat to kill me. And I was so scared, but then they disappeared after I just closed my eyes and opened again so that they go away. And I told my mother the next day, because I had to share that with my mother. My mother, you know, like any mother would say, don't be afraid, there was just nothing. It was maybe the Virgin Mary's hands coming to protect you. I didn't say anything anymore because I knew she wouldn't believe that there was evil. And I knew that it was very, very evil.
Well, you knew something was wrong.
Very wrong, very wrong.
And you were only 6 years old, so this is
yeah.
pretty small.
Already there, I had this terrible sign. And I used to see other things, like, for instance, every night I used to see this black dog with red eyes threatening me to tear me to pieces. And every night I used to see this. But I couldn't understand as a child that this could be demonic. Like, you know, the demon can take any shape. Could be a dog, could be an animal, could be an angel of light, could be the appearance of Jesus. He could take any shape. He's a spirit. But this eventually, much later on in the years, I figured out that was Satan was after my heels because he guessed. He's a good analyzing person, like a psychologist. He would guess, you know how? By the quantity of angels God would put, and the rank of angel God would put to somebody who's got a mission. So he'd be after that person since a child.
Interesting. At age 10, one of your first premonitions, interesting story, was a vacation from Egypt to Lebanon, as I read here. Suddenly, an inexplicable fear seized me, filling my entire being with terror. I began to tremble and burst into tears. Somehow I knew, without a doubt, that death was waiting for me on the journey to Lebanon, and I knew that if I went on that trip, I would not return alive. So, and then you had an interaction with your mother, and your mom...
She was very much, she believed me by, you know, she's very open to, I would say, mystical experiences and all that. So she believed me, and she canceled completely the journey. and waited for a sign, more or less. And when the next sign came to me was when Jesus appeared to me, all the way to his waist, nothing more. It was like a picture. He was smiling with his head a little bit tilted, and every time he said to me, looked at me, come to me. I was drawn like a magnet, you know, coming. Without me walking, I was just pulled, some force was pulling me towards him. And the second time he said, come to me again. And I started to get afraid that I can't control, you know, my feet, anything. But just by the words, come to me, I was drawn closer. The third time, I felt his face, you know, stuck on my face, and I went through his face. And that was a sign for my mother, now we can travel. But she changed country to make sure.
She did.
Yes.